Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Morphin Monday Lightning Collection review. This time, I got the Wave 1 Dino Charge Red Ranger. I got mine at GalaxyCon back in December 4th for $25. It's nice to finally have another Wave 1 figure to take a look at. So let's go ahead and start with the accessories. Some alternate hands. Comes with a fisted Dino Charge hand as well as one that's more like a karate chop. And they are both painted, as well as the trigger finger hand on the right hand, and the uh, it's a weird hand, but it looks like this. It kind of acts like a trigger finger, but don't don't it doesn't work like it does on the package back there. But there's the hands. It comes with a civilian head sculpt, which looks pretty good. Interesting to note is that this is all one molded piece. The hair is actually painted on, as far as I can tell. It's definitely not an extra piece there. I don't think they've done too many figures like this where the hair is part of the head mold. Alright, and then last two, or three accessories rather. I want to get this out without chipping the hand too much. You get the sword as well as an effect piece, which goes on that sword. And obviously, being the first time we've seen this effect piece, it has been reused for other figures. Like, it's been used in green for Pudgy Pig, and I think it's been used in a lighter blue for Mighty Morphin Red. I want to say there was one other instance. Nothing's coming to mind, though. It is a nice effect piece, but sometimes because of how tight this one can be around blades, as you can see, it goes through these two holes in the middle here. It can chip paint very easily. Like, it's a very solid fit. I have to pull on that. So if you're worried about paint chipping on other swords, like the power sword, I wouldn't use that effect piece. The sword is nice, though. Here it is compared to Dino Charge Blacks, and as you can see, it is painted very differently. As you can see, it's basically just like you got the unpainted section, you got the silver section, and you have the black painted section, and they're both different. The black goes up a little bit higher, the yellow goes down a bit more, and there's less silver overall. So that's the one that comes with the figure. And it is very similar to the one that comes with green, if not identical. Just so you can get a good look at that. And then the last accessory here is we have the Dino Charge Morpher. And this one is the more painted looking one. I believe it is molded in this yellow color, but it has a flatter texture, which I do prefer. And again, it's not painted on the one side. And here it is compared to Dino Charge Blacks. As you can see, it also has the painted look, although I like the color on this one better. In camera, this one looks a bit greener, which I always thought this was more blue, but on camera it has kind of a green tint to it, and it's not because of this effect piece. So, just so you can get an idea of what that looks like. And I'm going to keep him in frame. And I'm going to go ahead and grab green here. And then greens is using the, just straight up mold with some paint on it. Again, it's not painted on the other side. Just like red, just like blacks. And then if I can keep green in frame, he might fall over, but that's okay. Let's see if I can get this one in frame. There you go. So you can see they're all kind of different. All different sorts of colors and shapes. Honestly, I think green's probably the best, although I do prefer the texture on red, just as a comparison there. Let's go ahead and take a look at this figure. This figure is honestly still pretty easy to find. Like, you can get this for like $40 at most, although eBay prices are kind of a bit out there, if you ask me. Being the first wave of figures, he usually has more detail. I noticed because it's the first wave, they gotta make an impression on you. So he does have some paint that is either not on the future releases, like on the hands, or is really unnecessary, like on the boots here. The only other figure to have black on the boots is Zeo Pink, which is a very interesting choice. The buckle looks nice. Black is the only one to have an incorrect buckle, but that's fine. I gotta say, I do love the color balance here, though. You can see on camera, though, that the torso here is different than the butterfly joint. On this side, it's not too noticeable because you got two things blocking the edge there, so it's not nearly as noticeable than it is on this side. Let's see, color-wise here, this is different to this color, but in person it actually meshes very well, and the boots is similar to that color. Now, one issue I do have with this particular figure, and I don't know if I can fix it, is that he doesn't like to stand well. He either stands too far back, as you can see, he's not centered, he's leaning backward, or that happens where I do stand him up and he just falls forward. The issue, I think, has to do with his left leg. I don't know why, but it seems like this leg is just slightly longer than the other one. And I have tried messing with the ankle here to get him to stand up more properly. I've messed with this ankle as well. Honestly, I don't know what the issue is. I've tried just about everything I can think of. So either I have to have his one foot bent like this so that he can stand up properly, or I have to find a different pose for him. But, when I can get him to stand up, he either leans back a little bit or he leans too forward and falls over. Your figure may not have that issue, just so you know. Also, one thing to note is that on this arm, it's not going in all the way. That should be an easy fix with the hairdryer, but I just haven't gotten around to it yet. I also do have a paint issue here on the torso. A little bit of white showing through. Not too big a deal, honestly. Kind of looks like highlight. Again, an easy fix. Just get a really fine like marker, or even using a thumbtack with a little bit of paint on the tip would work well too. Back of the figure looks fine. No complaints. You can still see the mold marking on the belt there. Not too great. And then let's take a look at this helmet. This helmet looks good. It feels kind of small though, but that's kind of expected, for the first wave of figures. I think the issue with the first wave of figures is they really have really small heads. White and him do, and his helmet feels small. It's painted really nicely though. One thing is interesting to note is that the visor is actually a gunmetal, and it's a non-super shiny finish compared to black over here. You can see the light hits the visors a bit differently. And obviously they're different colors, but the visor itself here, they painted in gunmetal, which I don't think they've done for any other figure in this entire line. Again, obviously it's a Wave 1 figure, so things are going to be a little different, but it's just interesting the choices they make with these particular figures, And I recently saw that they're hiring some factory QA testers, I think in Vietnam. So if you're looking for a job and you like these figures, help us out and make these a bit better. Let's see if I can stand him up. Okay, so he's not standing properly up and down right now. So I'm just going to compare this to how he's standing right now. So it looks like he's standing about 6¼ inches, give or take. All right, and let's bring in, who did I bring in first? Black. That was the first one I got. There he is next to black. And then here he is next to green. And then here he is next to pink. Let's stick her over here, actually. So all we need is blue, and we can complete the base team. I'm still on the hunt for a decently priced Dino Charge Gold Ranger. Currently, eBay prices have him for about $60, $70 plus dollars, and I don't really want to spend that kind of money on a single figure, even if he was a one per case wave type of deal. But, these four look good together. Hopefully we get blue soon. I know that the rest of Wave 13 has been shipped from, not Dorkside, they're going out of business. Big Bad Toy Store, I think, was the one that's shipped out Wave 13. One other thing I'd like to point out with these figures is that pink and green here, their like dinosaur logos are all the way to the right of their little triangle here, like it's right on the edge. You can see with pink. And with black and red, it's a little bit to the left. Not to mention that reds here is a little bit smaller than greens, which is a bit surprising. I think it'd be the same size. One last thing I noticed is if you take a look at the male body mold and the female body mold, you can see that there's a little indent here right above this triangle. And on Pinks, it's painted, but on the guys, it isn't. You know, for a team I wasn't going to be collecting, I think they look really good in this line. You know, there's not really any major issues I have with them. But, you know, there's a good look at the 4 of them together. Alright, next up, let's go ahead and take a look at him next to some other Red Rangers. All the red dinosaurs. So we got Mighty Morphin. We got Dino Thunder. Almost messed that up. And then Dino Fury. So Charge, Thunder, Fury. And yeah, they look good together. And, you know, the 3 in the middle have been part of the Dino team up. And other than Dino Charge Blue, I think we could do a full Dino team up now, which is kind of weird to think about. We've only been in this line for 3 years, and we can already do that team up. But yeah, you know, the Dino Rangers, they all looking good next to each other. You can also see the different like shades of red compared to each other. I think red has a nice rich color in the torso, but the legs are like a completely different color. I think Dino Charge Red has a very good balance of, you know, the red plastics. Dino Thunder, very similar to Dino Charge Red, actually. And he's the most balanced, but because most of his torso is silver on the one side, I don't really count it. So, yeah, these 4 are looking good together. All right, lastly, as always, we have another Wave 1 figure here with Dino Thunder White and the Amanda Connor black and white Batman statue, just to give you some more size comparisons. So if you can find this figure for a good price, I think he's worth it. You know, he's not too hard to find. It was part of Wave 1. They made quite a lot of Wave 1. You know, the easiest one to find from that wave is probably White because he did get a re-release. But, you know, overall, I think, you know, for being a first figure in a wave, it actually leaves a pretty good impression. My only complaints would have to be the legs and the head. Why the head? I tried to get this on the body, but it just did not want to go on. So that kind of sucks. But, you know, good amount of accessories you get down there. It's a good figure. Looks good next to all the others. But, you know, thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure. Are you getting this figure? Have you got this figure? I know it's been out for 3 years, almost 4 now, with 2023 coming up. Actually, now that I think about it, this video might be released in 2023. I have a lot of videos in the pipeline, so, you know, Happy New Year. Anyway, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when my videos are uploaded. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.